Good afternoon and welcome to Mike and the Hoss on Wolfeboro Community Television. I'm Mike Dene.
And I'm Charlie Hossack.
Charlie, we done talk some Kingswood Springs sports again.
Yep.
Even though it's very wet, there hasn't been a lot of action since we last talked. And the Bruins and the Celtics are in the middle of their playoff runs, and the Red Sox seem to be getting it going.
Start to get excited, and then something bad happens.
And then they throw some water on it.
Yeah,
and
so
we don't need any more water.
We'll see what's happening. Yeah,
well,
definitely.
Let's get started with Kingswood.
Okay.
The baseball team won their first game this year.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Manchester West on Wednesday.
That's great.
They actually 10-runned them, 11-1, which was
even better.
Yeah, it was nice to see. I wasn't able to get to the game, but things look better. Things look better. They thought they played a lot more of a clean game, and you got to win the first one.
Right.
And the first one's always the hardest one to win.
Yeah.
So they're off.
And that's good. I mean, obviously a team that hasn't won, you get a win under your belt, you start to feel a little bit better about yourself, and I think things might start to change.
I do. I still, at the beginning of the year, I said I thought 6 wins was, a good projection for them.
Right.
And I still think they can do it. They got rained out today, and I think today was a good possible win for them.
Right.
And they have started to have a few. The schedule's starting to play in their favor. Although this rain is changing everything. Chip was telling me today, Coach Skelly was telling me today that one of the teams that they have to play is scheduled for 8 games in the final 9 days of the season.
That's great. How can you do that with your pitching?
You can't. You can't. And so I guess you're gonna have to be using their JV squad and bring guys up that can throw.
Which is unfortunate because then that's not really a true test of their program and puts them I guess it's a true test of their program.
Yes.
But it puts them in an awkward situation where they don't have the rest and to be able to be highly competitive.
I do think, though, that the way that Kingswood's built this year, that might be better for them.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about their JV, that there's some good players on the JV team.
Absolutely.
And they have some pitching down in the JV team. And so if they're able to, if they run into this kind of situation where they need those JV pitchers, they have those, where other teams don't have those JV
we were
pitchers.
talking about that our JV tends to be pretty dominant. We've got a really great JV baseball squad, and the games that I've been to a few, they're kind of rolling over these other teams that just don't have you right. So maybe it could play.
Maybe. I mean,
so are we rooting for more rain?
No, we are not.
I'm making a prediction right now. We are not going to have a drought this summer.
Okay, don't go out on a limb now, Charlie.
All right, okay.
No, we can't have any more rain. This is no fun. It's hard to coach.
Yeah.
My middle school team, we were canceled 3 days this week.
Yeah.
And how do you build any momentum?
Yeah.
You just can't build momentum with that. And there's only so many practices that you can have in the gym where you're getting anything out of it. We had the snow went away so late this year that we spent so much time in the gym. The kids don't want to be in the gym anymore.
Right.
And they're going to start bad habits, and it's going to get frustrating. So let's have the rain go away.
Yeah.
Softball team is still struggling, but I know that they were more competitive in their last game that they played, and they're building. They're building, and Coach Shaw has them going in the right direction.
Right.
And they're starting at the bottom, and he's got a lot of work, obviously ahead of him, but they're certainly moving in the right direction, which is good. The boys and girls lacrosse team. Last night, the boys took one on the chin versus Derryfield.
We talked a little bit about Derryfield.
There's another debate topic for us at some point.
Sure.
We were talking about debate topics about some of these private schools being able to play in New Hampshire public school leagues.
Right.
And not even just playing in public school leagues, but playing down divisions. So Derryfield can recruit from everywhere.
Right.
St. Thomas can recruit from everywhere. Bishop Girton recruits from everywhere. Get Massachusetts, Maine, and so on. And they're playing Division II.
Right.
It doesn't make sense. I don't know who makes these decisions that's allowing this to happen.
Sure. I mean, it's based on enrollment, and they're going with that instead of saying, well, let's take a look. If you're a private school, maybe you should be playing Division I, even if you only have 700 kids. Or 500 kids, or whatever.
Derryfield hasn't lost a lacrosse game in 4 years.
Right.
So when they roll in and they beat a team, and Kingswood has a decent lacrosse team this year.
Yep.
They are very competitive. Virtually everybody else in Division II. They roll in and walk all over Kingswood 18-3. Isn't that deflating for these teams to say, well, we got no shot at this?
Yeah.
We're playing a bunch of kids that are a dream team that are coming together, that are recruited and so on.
Right.
They're not necessarily trying out. They're not local kids.
Right.
And we got no shot. It's tough. It's a tough thing, and I don't know where at the state that's allowing this to happen.
Right.
But it just doesn't make sense to me. And I'm sure there is a reason. I'm sure I hope there's a reason that I'm missing.
Sure.
But
And that's tough too. I mean, you were saying just as a coach, and Kingswood. I mean, Kingswood lacrosse is going to make the playoffs.
Yep.
Looks like, and so they know what the future is. So even if they continue to win in the playoffs, they're gonna have to play Derryfield. It's like okay, well, the best we're going to get is second place.
Yep.
So that's not a way that you want to run your program.
Field hockey ran into Derryfield also.
Yeah.
I'm assuming girls lacrosse is going to run into Derryfield.
Sure.
And it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
No.
And they're recruiting. And St. Thomas is recruiting. St. Thomas is actually calling up Kingswood kids, some of our better Kingswood players to come down and play for them.
Mm-hmm.
Something's amiss,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure exactly what it is, but we need to take care of that. We haven't got an update for track. We're going to have to talk to coaches at track and tennis and get some updates for them. So
Definitely.
if you're watching, please, coaches, reach out to us, and so we can talk about your programs. But let's move on to the Boston sports.
Okay. Yeah. We'll talk Celtics.
Sure. Let's start with the Celtics.
All right. Series tied 1-1.
Playing tonight.
Yep, they are playing tonight, 8 o'clock, back in Boston.
Yep.
So I thought, obviously the first game, the Celtics played extremely well. And, the second game, they had their struggles, but I'm feeling pretty good about the team overall. I think overall, even with the loss, they are still playing good Celtics basketball.
I was actually surprised on how well they did in that first game.
Yeah.
Them coming through in that first game showed me a lot for the Celtics. I said, all right, they can compete, they can defend,
Right.
Giannis,
Yeah.
which I thought was great. And the second game, though, was disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
They were right there.
Yeah.
They were within. I turned it on. It was 59-61.
Yeah.
And then I went away because it was the night that I think it was the Celtics, the Bruins, and the Red Sox
Sure.
were playing.
Yeah. So
And
channel
so
surfing.
I went away and I came back and they're down 25.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
what happened.
Yeah.
I unfortunately I didn't see that stretch, but from talking to other people, it sounds like they just packed it in.
Yeah.
They didn't have any fight in them.
They did not. It was bizarre. Plus, Milwaukee started hitting their shots, and
Okay.
when you're shooting over 60% and the
Yeah.
third quarter, so.
I originally had said when we were doing some predictions, I said that it was going to be Milwaukee in 7.
You did, and I had the Celtics in 6.
Yeah. I'm still Milwaukee in 7,
Okay.
but I think I might change it next week.
Okay.
I might. I want to see what they do tonight.
Mhm.
I want to see at home. They're favored by 2,
Yep.
so they're the favored team. Kyrie put up a stinker
Mhm.
on their last game, and Tatum hasn't really played very well.
Right.
Hayward hasn't put back-to-back games together. I want to see if these guys can rebound. If these guys come back and they can put some minutes together and get some balanced scoring like they had on Sunday, then I am going to change that because they are the better team.
Mhm.
They don't have the best player,
Right.
but in the NBA,
But yeah.
I think you can get away with it, and I think they have a better coach. So we'll see. But I give the Celtics a fighting chance, and I think a lot's going to happen tonight. I think it really is. If they don't come out tonight, then it's over.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
and then
This is a must-win for the Celtics
It
tonight.
is, yep.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about we're just saying manager. Let's talk about general manager.
Yeah.
Danny Ainge
Yep.
suffered a heart attack in Milwaukee the other day, which was I don't want to say surprising because he had actually suffered one back in 2009, but scary at the same. For me, it's scary because he was a professional athlete, and obviously had the best care, best shape of his life, and these things are happening to professional athletes.
We're not getting any younger, Charlie.
Yeah, no.
Danny Ainge has about 10 years on us anyway.
He does, yeah.
But his first one was about
Yeah,
our age.
Exactly.
And it is scary, and you're right. These guys, they have means that we don't have.
Right.
They can see doctors that we don't do, but it gets everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like everything's fine with him. He's going to be okay,
Yeah.
and that he has some history with this.
Sure.
But you wonder if the Celtics are going to. He's pretty close to the team. He's a very close general manager.
Yes.
He's at the practices.
I was going to say he's at practices.
Yeah.
He actually, he'll even play around with the guys.
Yep. He
So,
he interacts with them.
Yeah.
He's not like a Pat Riley who lives on the other side of the country when he's managing
Right.
the team.
Yeah.
He is really part of the team. So I'd be curious if I'm going to be curious if the Celtics can pull together for him.
Kind of rally together and
Yeah, it would be nice to see.
Absolutely.
I think Danny Ainge, I don't know him personally, obviously, but he seems like a good guy.
Yeah,
he
does.
really does, and he's a Celtic at heart, or a Blue Jay if you want to go back to
Yeah,
baseball.
back
because
baseball,
he
sure.
was drafted as a second baseman.
That's right.
But Danny Ainge seems, and I like how he operates with the press because he's very forthcoming and he seems to give you honest answers.
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes with this, especially with the Patriots, I guess that's the best example. You don't know what's happening in that organization, and that's the philosophy that they have there, that everything's closed door.
Right.
Whereas Ainge, everything's a little bit more open door. You know what he's thinking as far as trades. You know what he's thinking as far as picks. You know what he's thinking as far as draft picks, which is it's a nice break, and because it's hard to argue with the Patriots' success and how they operate. So.
Right.
But as a fan, it's nice to know a little bit of what's happening inside.
Right, and and Danny Ainge shares that with us. The other thing I liked was, Coach Stevens, Brad Stevens. I mean, he and Danny are friends, and he talked about that, and that's nice to see. Even though they have a business relationship, they have a friendship, and
they do.
And I think that is part of. You go back to like Red Auerbach and kind of the Celtics family. And you look back at all those Celtics players. I know we talked about Havlicek last week when he passed, but all of those guys are Celtics at heart, and Tommy Heinsohn, and now you lump in Paul Pierce, and of course Larry Bird, and all those guys. They are Celtics family.
Celtics for life, really.
Yeah.
And the Celtics have built that kind of dynasty and organization where, when you put on that jersey, and if you win,
sure,
you are a Celtic for life.
Yeah, Rondo was not a Celtic for life.
No. But he won. He did win. He did win.
Yeah.
I think if Rondo were to come back to Boston, though, I think he would be welcomed.
Sure.
I do. I think he would be welcomed because he won.
Yeah.
He won. He was just an interesting character. Let's go to the Bruins.
Okay.
Big win last night.
Yeah, it was huge.
The Bruins are 5-0 in must-win games this year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? So they were down 2-1 to Toronto.
Right.
They won.
Yeah.
They were down 3-2 to Toronto.
They won both
in Toronto.
Yeah.
They won that. Then they won Game 7.
Sure.
Down 2-1 last, to Columbus.
Yeah.
In Columbus. Very, excited environment, a lot of energy there. And I don't say they outplayed Columbus, but they got the win.
They got the win.
They got the win. And that shows a lot. Back against the wall. They had a goal last night off the netting, the goal that went against them off that netting.
Right.
Couldn't understand, and I didn't know the rule. I didn't know that there was actually an obscure rule for if a puck hits in the net, if a puck hits the netting, and then it goes off a player and then directly in the net, then it's no goal. But if it goes off another player who passes it to another player, then it's a goal.
That's a goal. Yeah, I saw that this morning.
Yeah, it's hard to understand that, especially when you look at they have an offsides rule where they can go back 4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah,
even if there was if there was an offsides entering the zone, then it's no goal. And I'm guessing they're going to change this rule real quick.
Right.
And Rask in his interview last night, and compliments to Rask for holding it together after that goal, but and he said, what if that was an overtime and that happened?
Right.
When the play should have been stopped. That rule has to be changed. But Pasternak scored last night. He kind of got it going.
Yeah, I don't know about kind of. I mean,
he got on the board.
Yeah, he scored.
But something's the matter with him. Have you ever seen an NHL player, let alone somebody of Pasternak's ability, but an NHL player whiff on with the puck as often or just fall randomly?
Yep.
I mean, he's not well.
No, something's going. It's more than that thumb injury.
More than a thumb injury. He at one point when he was on the power play, he had the puck. And he lost the puck, but he didn't even know he lost the puck. He kept moving down the ice, and then took the shot and realized he didn't have the puck.
Yeah, he left the puck behind.
It was bizarre.
Yeah.
I mean, your youngest squirt player knows when the puck's on his stick.
Right.
And something's
going on. Yeah.
But they moved him back to the top line.
Yeah.
It seemed to work. Bergeron had a goal and an assist, or I think he had 2. Did he have 2 last night?
He had 2 goals.
I think he had 2 last night. They look good, especially in the third period. I thought that they really kind of poured it on, and they were able to get through the wall of goalie that Columbus has.
Yeah.
But I think Rask was the story last night. I was watching with the boys, and I said, when it was 2-1, I says the Bruins are going to win this game 2-1, or they're going to lose, because I didn't think there was anything. They didn't have any offense going. But they did the job, and so now they put themselves in a best-of-3 series with home ice advantage, so I think they're looking a little bit better.
Red Sox?
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
We passed the deadline that you had kind of set for us,
Yeah.
which was the 1st of May.
Yep.
We talked a little bit about that. We're hoping that there would be 500 in May. I guess before we talk about the Red Sox, I guess the only thing we've kind of got going for us is the AL East really isn't, it's really not that powerful right now.
No.
So they're still in the mix. I mean, what are they? 6.5 back. They're 14 and 18 as far as a record. I don't know. I guess the Rays don't scare me, but this early. But at the same time, the Sox cannot put together. I mean, other than they swept the A's, which I would expect them to be able to win that series.
Yeah.
And then last night David Price pitched extremely well.
Yep.
And then we lost it in the ninth. I guess we don't really have the true closer.
No, they're just finding different ways to lose.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the year, their starting pitching was a problem. Since April 14th, the starting pitchers have the best ERA in the American League East since April 14th. So the pitching is not the problem anymore. Mm-hmm. Now is the bullpen becoming a problem?
Yeah,
which,
it could be.
Workman had a difficult time the other night.
And Barnes looks good.
Barnes looks real good.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we're not going to see Barnes in the closer role.
Yeah, exactly.
Because when he has that curveball that he has going right now, he's tough.
Yeah.
Brazier Brazier throws the ball hard, but he hung that pitch. And the difference between him and Kimbrel is that when Kimbrel would hang a pitch, he could get away with it just because of his stuff.
Right.
Where Brazier, if he hangs a pitch,
Yeah.
he obviously doesn't get away with it.
Right.
They still have issues, though. Jackie Bradley's still hitting 150,
Yeah.
149. He has 3 extra base hits on the whole year.
Right. I mean, he had some slumps last season as well. And unfortunately, his slump is at the beginning of the season this year.
Yes, and he's not giving them the defense that he was. He's let a few balls that bounce in front of him, and
Right.
He's not making those plays that he was making on a regular basis last year. Mookie's got it going.
He's got it going.
He's over 300 now. Martinez is over 300. I mean, those guys are playing. Moreland's down into low 2s.
Yeah.
So he's cooled down.
He
Vasquez
has.
is where you would expect Vasquez to be, low 2s. Devers is up around 300, so that's a good sign.
Benintendi's doing well.
Chavez, the new second baseman.
Michael Chavez.
Chavez.
Yeah, Chavez. Yeah.
Is contributing.
Yeah.
He's contributing. Pedroia, though, did you see about Pedroia that they're going to extend him in.
So did he play in Portland last night? I don't know if they got rained out. Yeah, he was going. Yeah.
He was going to do an extended stay down in Double-A.
Okay.
With the plan that he was going to be an everyday player when he comes up.
In the bigs?
In the bigs. When they bring him back up, the plan is for him to be an everyday player, and he's going to stay down there until he's ready to come up and play every day.
So is this would you say the kiss of death for Dustin Pedroia? So, I mean, if he's going to play down, is he going to make it back to the bigs? Is he going to get healthy enough? So.
Well, I without being inside the room, I'm guessing
Yeah.
they're saying that, you have to play every day down there before you can play every day
Yeah, you
for
can
us.
prove it to us at Double-A.
Yep.
That you could sustain the wear and tear.
10, 12 games in a row kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And then we'll bring you back up and insert you, and you'll be the regular player.
Okay.
But, Chavez he's doing
Yeah.
okay.
He is.
A good Dustin Pedroia and a good Chavez, I don't know.
Yeah.
At this point, but I guess he's going to give it another shot, which is nice to see. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, we had talked about that. We love Pedroia, and he's a Red Sox through and through, and obviously I wish him the best. I mean, it'd be great to see him come back as long as he can contribute. We're not going to insert him to take away from.
right.
Well,
and they're not desperate. I don't think
Yeah.
they're desperate yet, because like you said earlier, the American League East, nobody's running away with it. Like the Sox, opened last year 17-2. There isn't anybody doing that.
No.
If there would be, then they'd be like 11 games out
Right.
at this point. Then that's a lot of games to make up. 6 games they can make up in a week.
Right.
I'm going to say that if they're within 5 games by the All-Star break, and I was projecting out,
Yeah.
I think we're okay. Because I'd like to see them get it going there. I think the team to be concerned about right now is the Yankees.
Yeah.
They're playing right with Tampa, and their whole team just about is on the DL.
Yeah.
As those guys start coming back,
Get
they're-
healthy, they could, yeah.
They're doing some good stuff in New York, and
Sale's got to get his first win. So.
He pitched better.
Yep.
He did pitch better, but he's certainly not dominating. Parcello pitched great the other night. That was good to see, and they need him for innings. And we'll see. They get the White House visit coming up this week, which has been a little bit of drama.
Yeah.
And it seems that nowadays those White House visits are drama.
Yeah.
Sure. How do you feel about it? Should the whole team go, or should it be up to the players?
I think the whole team should go. I mean, if the decision's made for the team should attend. And I go back to this, like, not that this is a political show, but you are going, you are honoring the position, not the person. It's the President of the United States. Whether you like the person or not, I mean, you should. I mean, when I visit D.C., I'm in awe when I see everything there and the amazing history behind it. So if I were invited to the White House, which I probably would never be, I would.
Don't sell yourself short, Charlie.
I would attend because it's think about the history and the people that have served as presidents. It doesn't have to be a specific Trump thing, Democrat thing, Republican thing. You are honoring the office of the President of the United States.
I think you make a good point that it's more about the office than the person. You and I are not the most political people in the world, as far as, we don't, lose sleep over the political stuff.
Sure.
But I think that there are players that do, and I think there's a lot of pressure because they're in the public eye a lot more than we are.
Sure.
And I look at an Alex Cora, who is representing Puerto Rico.
Right.
And Puerto Rico certainly has issues with the administration right now. And so he's not, I'm guessing where he feels is that he's going as a representative of the Red Sox, but he's also has that, representative of his
the
country.
people, Puerto Rico.
So, I mean, I'll respect it. I like what the Sox have done with this. They're saying the team is going. If a player decides not to go, then a player decides not to go.
Sure.
But the team is going. We're going to represent, and it is a personal choice. And then and that was it. That was the last statement.
They're not. Yeah, they're not forcing anyone.
And they're not going to acknowledge somebody not going. They're just going to say we're going, and if somebody doesn't go, they don't go.
Well, the Red Sox won't acknowledge it, but the rest of the world will.
Well, yes.
You're going to have the people and the pundits pointing this out or that out.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And Brady didn't go twice. He didn't go to when President Obama was there, and he didn't go when President Trump was there.
Right.
And so he kind of balanced the whole slate. See, it's not personal, so it's interesting.
Before we talk, did you, with Tom Brady, you mentioned Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Did you happen to see Jimmy Kimmel last night?
No, but I did see him, a little clip of him throwing the football.
Yeah. Matt Damon's window. If you get a chance to see it, fantastic. Tom Brady, I mean, a huge fan, obviously.
Yeah.
But just amazing, and it was really, really well done and very funny.
Peyton Manning has always been the gold standard as far as transcending to the media and being comical and everything like that.
Yeah.
Brady can hold his own though.
Definitely.
He holds his own. He's got a great social media presence. He's pretty quick, and he certainly has a good network of people that he talks to, and he's friends with Matt Damon. And
his comments were awesome last night because he talked specifically about why he's okay getting the discount.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I
and
did see that.
that's huge. I mean, he said winning's the most important thing for him. It's not about the money.
And he wants the money that he's not taking spread out through the rest of the team.
Absolutely.
And he also said, "My wife makes a lot of
money."
money."
And she's the breadwinner.
So
definitely.
I mean, he does have that advantage. So
exactly.
Charlie, we're kind of running out of time, but we do have a little bit of time. We wanted to start getting back into our debates.
Sure.
And we picked a topic for the baseball people out there that is polarizing, and it's about the designated hitter.
Right.
And we wanted to talk about, should Major League Baseball keep the designated hitter in the National League, or should they disband it completely?
Or keep it in the American League.
Oh, keep it in the American League.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Keep it in the American League.
Or move it to the National League.
Should there be a designated hitter?
Should there be
or not?
yeah. Okay.
And I was going to take the side that there should be.
Okay.
And
well, tell me why. Why should there be a designated hitter?
David Ortiz.
No. Okay. So, but before you say that, I just want to get some clarification. Kind of, let's lay out the groundwork. Are you saying keep it in the American League, or should it spread also to the National League?
I think that we should talk about the designated hitter as a presence in Major League Baseball.
Okay.
Whether it be
well, it's only in the American League.
I know, but whether that wants to get moved to the National League or
all right. So David Ortiz. All right. So we want David Ortiz.
I'm going to start with that one. David Ortiz.
Okay.
Probably over the last 10 years, the most recognizable baseball player. He or Mike Trout or something like that. one of the most beloved baseball players of all time.
Right.
Championships, what he did for Boston in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
He probably is not playing in Major League Baseball after 2006, 2007.
Right. If they don't have a DH.
If they don't have a DH.
Right.
And
So you like, so let me get in on this. You like the DH because it allows players that can no longer play a field position, that can hit, of course,
Yes.
to be able to continue and stay in the game.
Yep.
And a lot of these DHs, not only, not Ortiz, of course Ortiz, but there's a lot of designated hitters that people love.
Yep.
So you think that it's good for baseball?
I do. And one more point on that.
Yeah.
Different teams are using the designated hitter differently. Like
Yeah.
Oakland, for instance, has a 10-man basically lineup, and they alternate who the designated hitter is.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the Sox, for the most part, I guess they've moved more towards, since Ortiz retired, they don't have that specifically established designated hitter like they once did.
Right.
In that case, I'm not as for it, because if you have that special hitter, offense puts people in the seats.
Of course.
And the more offense that you can have, then it's exciting. I'm a baseball guy. I like a 2-1 game.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of people don't like that.
Right.
A lot of people want to
Yeah,
see
they don't
a
wanna see.
6-5 game.
Yeah.
And the designated hitter helps teams get there.
Get those rounds, yeah. I've said it before on the show. I'm kind of a baseball purist, and I know that I'm going to date myself. But if you go back, the designated hitter has only existed for a couple of generations now, right? Back in the
1973.
70s. Yeah, back in the 70s. So most people that are watching baseball now have always known a designated hitter.
Yep.
But if you look back to the early game, it didn't exist.
Yep.
And pitchers, I mean, should we throw out Babe Ruth? Okay, I mean, I know that we're going way back.
Yep.
Pitchers hit the ball. I think we have created, baseball has become specialized.
Yep.
And I don't know if I like that. I like not having the designated hitter, not because I like to see pitchers hit, but the pitchers in the National League, some of them can actually hit, and it's because they are working on their craft to be able to hit, because they know that they're required to. I think it also takes, if you look at the National League teams, if you have pitchers that are hitting, I find that it might be even a little bit more cohesive in the dugout, because as a pitcher, not only do I have to pitch, I have to hit, so I have to be able to do what everyone else does.
You're fully part of that team.
You're fully, obviously they're fielders, but yeah, you are fully immersed in that team, instead of saying, okay, this guy's a knuckleball pitcher, that's all he's got to do. So I really like not having the DH rule. Obviously you can bring in a pinch hitter, and I think it offers a little more strategy too. I'd rather be a National League manager. Because then you have to figure out, all right, am I going to pull him out? Who am I going to put in? It's going to be a double switch. It just offers that much more to the game, where as a fan, I'm thinking about, okay, what are they going to do? How is he going to manage this? I don't want him to mess that up. So I just kind of like that. But I'm not, but then you go back to that. I'm not an anti like David Ortiz. I love to see a home run. I love to see RBIs.
I like the distinction between the National League and the American League. I find it interesting. I find it interesting when an American League team has to go and play National League rules.
Right.
And they have to worry about the double switches, and they have to worry about just playing a little bit more small ball.
Yeah.
In the National League, with the way that is, pitchers come out of the game a little bit quicker, often because they're getting pinch hit for, especially if it's there. But I think right now what baseball is doing is actually a good thing. You have the American League that is playing by, for the most part, the same set of rules, but with this added
with the
piece.
DH,
and it makes it more exciting when they go to the National League parks to see how that
So you
happens.
see that.
And then when the National League teams come, then you get to see
they get
that
to have a
10th guy on the
have,
bench that you didn't know really was there,
Yeah.
and you get him 4 at bats and so on. I think it just offers something. It is a disappointment when the American League teams go to a National League park, and the Sox are a great example right now, where their outfield, Martinez, Bradley, Betts, and Benintendi. So when they go to a National League park, one of them has to sit.
Yeah.
And it
It
adds an element. It does add an element, but.
But I think so. As far as the debate goes, I guess we're in agreement. Keep it in the American League. Keep no DH in the National League. It kind of makes it exciting when they meet, and it seems to be working in both leagues.
And I'll end it with this, Charlie.
Yeah.
because you made valid points about everything you just said. If it was a choice between no DH or DH in both leagues, I would probably opt no DH.
Yeah.
You know, because I think that there needs to be an element of purist there.
Sure.
So I think that means you win the argument.
All right, okay, I'll chalk it up as a win. Yeah. I just wanted to, we want to just do a little bit of history.
Okay.
We have a holiday coming up on Sunday.
All right.
So this is something I just want to read to you guys. All right. It says, most people don't know that back in 1912, Hellmann's mayonnaise was manufactured in England. In fact, the Titanic was carrying 12,000 jars of the condiment scheduled for delivery on May 5th in Veracruz, Mexico, which was to be the next port of call for the great ship after it stopped in New York. Do you know all this stuff?
I'm learning as
All right,
this very informative
good.
show we have.
Yes,
going.
it is. Okay. This would have been the largest single shipment of mayonnaise ever delivered to Mexico. But as we know, the great ship did not make it to New York. The ship hit an iceberg and sank, and the cargo was lost forever. All right. That wasn't in the movie. No. Okay. The people of Mexico, who were crazy about mayonnaise, never knew that, and were eagerly awaiting its delivery, were disconsolate at the loss. Their anguish was so great that they declared National Day of Mourning, which they still observe to this day.
I have a feeling I know where this is going.
You do? You think?
I-
Okay. The National Day of Mourning occurs each year on May 5th, and is known, of course, as Cinco de Mayo. And now you know where the name originated.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you like
that's
that.
Awesome.
But in all seriousness, the history of Cinco de Mayo, it was the Mexican victory over France, May 5th, 1862, and it was at the Battle of Puebla. So our Mexican friends celebrate the victory over France, and happy Cinco de Mayo, Mr. Dene.
Sports and history.
Sports and history all together. And you know, a lot of people think that Cinco de Mayo is their, if I could even say it, is their Independence Day, but it's not. Independence Day is actually in September for Mexico. So this is truly the celebration of victory over France.
A lot of people like to celebrate Cinco de Mayo.
They sure do. They sure do.
So more power to them.
Yeah, definitely.
And margaritas on us.
A special thanks to our producer, Timothy Goodwin, for sharing that history lesson. So,
all right, so are we? Do you want to talk about the golf
just
outing real
just
quick?
quickly, once again, Kingswood Football's golf outing is June 22nd at the Indian Mound Golf Course in Ospey, New Hampshire. Looking for players, sponsors. We got lots of great prizes. If you're interested, reach out to me, Charlie Hossack, and I'll get you all hooked up.
We were supposed to be on location today at the baseball game.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
The baseball game got rained
Rained
out.
out.
We're going to try again next Friday to broadcast from the Kingswood game, which will be a little bit different. You know, we're going to do our show while commenting on the game as it's going on.
Right.
So I think it'll be a lot of fun if the rain ever stops and we can actually get outside and do it.
I hope it does.
So, all right.
All right.
I guess that's going to be it for us. Anything else, Charlie?
No, how about you, Mike?
No, I'm pretty good.
All right.
So that's going to be us, Mike and the Hoss, and Wolfeboro Community Television. Thank you. We'll see you next week.
Go Knights.
Go Knights.